The most wonderful time of the year rolls on with the IS4S salute to Veterans Bowl. Troy squares off with Jacksonville State tonight, 9 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. The Philadelphia Eagles got back on track with a much-needed 31-0 blowout win against the Raiders on Sunday. Jalen Hurts rebounded from his 4-interception game a week ago by throwing 3 touchdowns and no turnovers. The win snapped a 3-game losing streak and was Philly's first shutout in 7 years. Here's Hurts on his performance.
Everybody's watching. It just comes with it. And it hasn't changed. I think everybody needs to remember where I come from and how I'm built. So I just want to lead in the right way, set the right example. Done the same thing since I went to the University of Alabama, and everything that's been in front of me, so it's no different now.
Okay, so let's put this in perspective. It was the Raiders, a 2-win team, but do you still see the Eagles as one of the best teams in the NFC?
Absolutely. Listen, they had a little skid. Every team has warts, so I'm not trying to minimize that they've struggled offensively at times. I totally get that. I'm from one of the best offenses in NFL history. Played it, fantastic, love to do it. Offense puts people's butts in the seats. Defense wins championships. That Eagles defense, with Jalen Carter coming back, is a NFL Super Bowl winning defense. Whether you like them, whether you hate them, whatever. What they did how they played against the Raiders told me everything I needed to see. We're going to run the rock. This is kind of the Seattle model, right? Seattle will run the ball. It's all about touches and running. It's not even about production. They ran the ball 47 times. And they only averaged like 3.5 a carry. Great. They threw it 15, but guess what? He's 12 of 15 with 3 touchdowns. Dropped another one. So, however that thing shakes out, when you look at the style of game against the Raiders, this is what I wanted to see out of the Eagles. When everybody told me the offense isn't sexy enough, it's not pretty enough, they don't do enough of this, they got to feed A.J. Brown. They go make A.J. Brown the leading receiver for 3 games, and they lose them all. Now you get back to how you win. What's your philosophy of winning? That's run the football, reduce your risk profile, and play great defense and be in a shot to win at every game in the end of the fourth quarter. That's how the Eagles could do it.
See?
Well, listen, I mean, when you say contention, I mean, once the playoffs begin, everybody's one and done, okay? And so I understand it from that standpoint. I'm just looking at them right now as we approach the end of the regular season. Can they be viewed as the best team in the NFC? And I say no. I think the Los Angeles Rams are better. I think the Seattle Seahawks are better. The Bears, the way they handle the Philadelphia Eagles, I can't ignore that. They might be perceived as being better. And this is because of the Eagles' offense. Missed throws, absence of a running game, no cohesion whatsoever on too many occasions. I don't give a damn what happened against the Las Vegas Raiders. As far as I'm concerned, the only difference between playing the Raiders and a bye week is the fact that tackling is involved. That's it, because I consider the Raiders the equivalent of a bye week. That's how bad they've been this year. So I'm not going over that. You understand? They need to hand the reins to Tom Brady, which you can't do because he ain't going to give up his gig at Fox in order to run the whole organization. But they need to do something, no question, because it's just a bad state of affairs in Las Vegas. Usually in Las Vegas, they call it Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You've got people that are blaming the Raiders for not living by that because they've contaminated the rest of the league because of how awful they are when they show up in different places being as awful as they are. So it's one of those situations right now. I ain't going by any of that whatsoever. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. The Raiders are trash. They just are. It's just a fact of life. And they got to get Tom Brady more involved because Mark Davis and whatever decisions he makes, clearly he's not his daddy. He is not Al Davis. Just win, baby. Just win, baby. No. How about please win? That's what we're gonna change it to with the Raiders. Please win, not just win. Please win, because they just don't do it. I ain't going by that. I'm going by what I've seen from the Eagles along the last multitude of weeks. Their defense will keep them in it. They are the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. They're getting everybody's best shot. But in the end, the offense has been too inconsistent for me to view them in that high of regard right now.
I mean, I can't believe the Raiders caught all of those strays right there.
For real.
Man, Mark Davis.
How can you not believe that?
Man.
I didn't tell a lie. I didn't tell a lie.
No,
I mean,
Stephen A., listen.
He took multiple slaps.
Listen, with a haircut like that, it's fair to question everything that Mark Davis decides on.
No.
No question about it.
Dang.
But here's what I'll say.
Good Lord.
With the Philadelphia Eagles, I will give them their respect as the reigning defending champs. But I ain't putting a ton of stock in a win over the Raiders. Let's look at the three losses that they had prior to that. You had a Monday night game against the LA Chargers where your quarterback turned it over 5 times.
Yep.
You let the Chicago Bears run roughshod over your team for damn near 300 yards on the ground. And then you blew a 21-0 lead to the Dallas Cowboys in a primetime game. When the Philadelphia Eagles are looking at the body of work for this season, they're not playing their best football as we're getting to the end of the regular season, which I think is the reason why we have so much cause for pause. Mm-hmm. And when you start bringing up the teams that they beat in the early part of the season, teams like the LA Rams, I will just say this. What I'm seeing right now from the Philadelphia Eagles is eerily similar to what we saw from the Kansas City Chiefs in 2024, where their offense didn't have a ton of big plays, where they didn't have a consistent ground game, and what happened when they faced the Eagles in the Super Bowl. It was BTA. If the Eagles go up against the Rams in the playoffs, I will tell you there will be a different story than what we saw in week 3 at the Link. A different story. Based on what the Rams are doing, that 13 personnel, Sean McVay finding yet another market inefficiency in terms of how defenses try to defend his run schemes, I will tell you this. If the Eagles have to play this version of the LA Rams, it's going to be BTA like we saw the Eagles do the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59.
Okay.
So I am not sold that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be a team that's going to defend their crown this year.
They're still trying to prevent from being the 2023 version of themselves.
Yeah.
There's 3 games left.
Completely
Don't rule out a
agree.
collapse.
Commanders
I mean, I
twice.
understand
Commanders twice, and
but
Bills,
still.
and Bills.
All right, let's leave this one here. Let's move to the AFC North because Shedeur Sanders could not follow up on that breakout performance against Tennessee when the Browns faced the Bears in sub-zero temps on Sunday. Sanders threw 3 picks, sacked 5 times. He could not get Cleveland's offense in the end zone all game in that 31-3 blowout loss. So with only 3 wins on the season, head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked about his job security.
I don't get into those type of things, Mary Kay. I would just tell you my focus, our football team's focus is solely on the Buffalo Bills, and obviously watching the tape today, that's our focus, but that's all we really care about.
So who has more at stake, Canty? Is it Shedeur Sanders? Because we know he gets the rest of the season to audition effectively for his job. Or is it Kevin Stefanski, who might be out of his job soon?
Well, Courtney, I'm going to say it's Shedeur Sanders. Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year, and even though he hasn't covered himself in glory this season, if he gets clipped in Cleveland, he'll have another job. Likely this hiring cycle with all of the expected openings that